Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And I'm
Roast.
Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our reaction and review for the Pitt Season 2, Episode 14. We have almost made it to the tail end of this shift. A number of doctors are all surprisingly still there.
Yep, and all of those motorcycles are knocked over.
Listen, I am not a motorcycle person. I cannot,
Shocking.
I cannot sympathize with Dr. Robbie's feelings on this matter.
Except
However,
that they're very expensive.
they are very expensive. And as somebody who has a bicycle, and I'm not comparing it to a motorcycle, it is nowhere near as expensive, but I still value my bicycle. And as a
Mhm.
lot of you are familiar, there is an ongoing battle between bicyclists and people who have cars. If one of these people in a
Yes.
car did something like this to my bicycle, they would see hands. Okay, they wouldn't see hands, but they would see a level of rage that
Yes.
I never showcase anywhere else. So I do get that, Robbie.
Listen, I'm not into motorcycles at all, but I know how expensive they are. My
Yeah.
husband rides a motorcycle, and I just felt all this money flying away watching all those bikes fall over. I mean, minimal damage, but still,
Yeah.
I completely understand why Robbie lost it.
It's really funny because we've spent almost the entirety of this season trying to figure out the justification behind all of Robbie's various crash outs, and we'll
Yeah.
certainly talk more about them
Mhm.
in this video. This is the one crash out this season that was one, totally justified, but two at the same time wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was kind of with the paramedics where, yeah, he cursed and had a little episode outside, but by the time he came back in, he was okay.
Yeah, I was surprised too. Maybe it's because Duke is like, I got you. I'll get my stuff out of the car. I'll fix you up right here. You'll be ready to rock and roll. That might be it that helped out, that there wasn't that much damage from his bike dropping.
I just have to say this about Duke now. I mean, there's so much to praise in this episode, but guys, can you not make Duke the most obvious stereotypical biker dude of all time? You have him not only with the beard and the hair, he's got some like short sleeve cut denim ensemble he's got going. It's like, guys, you smarter than this. Can't he have a different outfit?
I know.
But okay, we have a lot to discuss, especially with Robbie's mental state, the huge Dr. Owl cliffhanger. What is
Yes.
going on here? Before we dive into it, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button because,
Mhm.
yeah, we're covering all things The Pit Season 2 here at the channel. If you guys are subscribed to HBO Max, then you know House of the Dragon Season 3 is coming this June. We are ready to dive into Westeros. The bar is set so much higher thanks to Dunkin' Egg. Like,
It's
totally.
so true. And if you want to help support us further, you can join our memberships. Right now, here on YouTube memberships, we are covering Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, and The Boys. The final season is just started. It is also for our members only. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined. It truly, really helps us here at the channel to continue to bring you videos.
Yeah, thank you guys. That is so very appreciated. And let's talk about Dr. Al here because I am confused, like legitimately struggling trying to figure this out. So let's set the table.
Yeah.
It turns out she has some sort of neurological condition, and
Mhm.
that sort of justifies the little Easter eggs that have kind of been implanted throughout the course of the season, right?
Yeah, it seems that she had had some sort of prolonged infection when she was much younger, and that it's given her an altered mental status. Why she's decided now to bring it to Dr. Robbie? I mean, she's worked with him for only one day, but she must see something really special in him, that he would be able to look a little bit deeper and maybe give a different diagnosis than maybe all the other doctors she's spoken to.
Yeah, this is where I'm kind of losing my mind on a lot of this because there is this very weird part of me that is really sitting back and thinking, Dr. Al, did you somehow finagle it that you came to this hospital with the sole purpose of trying to speak to Dr.
Maybe.
Robbie? Did you admire his work that much? Or is it just as plainly as I've come to really respect you on this day? So
Mhm.
here, Mr. ER doctor, I want you to give me a diagnosis, even though, and as you just alluded to, there's probably a lot of other people who have looked at this,
Mhm.
including people who actually specialize in this. Like Dr. Robbie's not a neurologist. I don't know what she's really expecting to get out of this.
I'm not sure either. It might just be sort of a professional opinion between colleagues of someone that, even though they only work together this one day, that she's felt that she's built up enough trust with him during this time. I mean, it's been a difficult day, and I mean, you can have a really difficult day in health services and it'll bond people.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I think what does make this so interesting of a reveal is like I'm suddenly in this spot now where I'm like wanting to jump back into a time machine to all these various other times on the Pit this season, just thinking like I felt like she didn't like Dr. Robby all that much. They were constantly at odds. He was throwing shade at her, but is this just her way of bonding to a certain extent that I didn't
Okay,
catch?
well, here's a tinfoil
All right.
hat. Does Dr. Al, is she kind of going through this process where she feels like she's not going to actually be able to handle this job? That
Mhm.
Robbie's going to leave. And as the day's been going on and she's been seeing how this ER is run, as well as her own just feeling inside about this, altered mental state as she's said through this diagnosis, that maybe she's starting to feel like, maybe I can't do this. And if I tell Robby about it, then Robby won't leave. And maybe I'll just go back to what I was doing before. And maybe it's an easier way to get out of it instead of saying I can't.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's another bit of evidence now that we're talking all this out where I feel like you're right. So, once again, let's think back here. Dr. Al recommended that they have two attendings on at all times. So,
Yep.
if she really is like, I don't think I can handle this, I don't know how to express it, maybe, like you're saying, presenting this to Robby as a way to make that happen, like it all is tied in. Where if Dr. Robby does leave, maybe she's just looking out for herself. She did have
Looking out for the patients, maybe?
yeah, like she did have some sort of rapport with Dr. Abbott. We can talk about was that flirtation, was that not? I mean, regardless, that's somebody else who could be brought on with her. And yeah,
Mhm.
this is a lot for one person to take on. We have seen now through Robby what being a doctor at this place has caused him to become over time.
Oh man, that conversation with Duke that Robby had, it really broke my heart. I mean, it's been brimming all season. Also last season. I mean, we
Yes.
had Robby up on the roof at one point. We know what he's been going through, all these different things that are piling up on him, that he was going to be taking this trip. He's been kind of bouncing back and forth of what this trip really is. Is this going to be just, he's going to ride off into the sunset and find happiness and not come back? Is he going to ride off into the sunset and darker things are going to happen and he's just not going to come back? Like, or is he going to leave and then come back? It's kind of been all over the board, but now it feels a lot more like he's going to ride off into the sunset and it's going to go dark at the end.
I am so unbelievably worried. And I'm also just sitting back and thinking, all right, well, this is why he didn't wear the helmet at the start of this season.
Right.
He's got this sort of death wish that's going on in the back of his head.
Yeah, and that might be why he's like, yeah, I'll work this 15 hours and then get on my bike at night
Yeah.
and do this long trip. I mean, Duke even called it out and said, this is not safe, Robby. And he's like, and now we all know why.
Yeah, it's so weirdly complicated because I do still feel like, and maybe I'm delusional, I'll admit this, and I still want to root for Dr. Robby. So it does feel like he cares about the patients and he
Yeah.
still wants to try to help them, but he doesn't want to try to help himself. He routinely ignores advice from everybody, including his friends and colleagues, to try to get some sort of treatment for himself. He is potentially endangering himself and others, Robby, by
Yep.
going on this trip immediately after your extended shift. And he's not really thinking about that. And so if we're trying to unpack this psychologically, the idea of him spending decades working at this hospital, including a lot of it as an attending by himself without a number two, is it all so condensed and stressful and intense that he has sort of developed this level of adrenaline for dealing with this job and feeling like he's good at it, but you have this time where you're away from the job. And because it's so extreme, he can't find any meaning in the rest of his life because the rest of his life is not that. There is no balance. And I don't know if he knows how to compartmentalize and handle that.
He really doesn't. I mean, his big idea was to go on this motorcycle
Yeah.
and just not come back. So, this is the terrible plan. Nobody wants to see this. And I think deep down, Robby also doesn't want to see this, which is why I think he opened up about this a little bit to Dana and more to Duke. The fact that he's talking about it, this is positive.
It is positive. It gives me like a small inclination of hope that everything is going to be okay in the
Right.
finale. Like Am I confident in that? Absolutely not. This is a show that still has really bad things that happen, but it did feel like, all right, there is a pathway to maybe where Robby makes some smarter decisions for his future in the finale. I mean, once you have a couple of these conversations, you can't really walk them back, and it still feels like Abbott is going to come and talk to him at some point, right?
Okay, here's the thing. So we've been kind of
Yeah.
like talking about the idea of Abbott. We're gonna have a night shift spin-off. It's gonna be
Yes.
great. They have really spent the past couple episodes already really introducing us to this night shift and
Yes.
these new people. And it's, you know, Sean has been out there even kind of like joking, teasing about, oh, maybe we'll have a night shift.
Yeah.
My tinfoil hat is
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like season 3, it's not going to end up being a spin-off. That's going to be season 3 is just going to be the night shift, because
Ooh.
Noah has kind of said that there's a possibility that he might be around a little bit less next season. I was kind of like, oh, okay. Sean's out here being like, let's go rah night shift. And we got Noah over here being like, yeah, maybe I'll be in the next season just a little bit less. I'm like, okay, well then maybe they're going to be crossing over the other way where it's going to be mostly night shift, and then Robby will be coming in for the next 3 hours.
I would be really interested in what that looks like, because yeah, we would still have an opportunity
Yes.
to see a lot of our favorite characters. I mean,
Yes.
don't get me wrong, we're gonna have the Mohan conversation later, but we're gonna see a lot of our favorite characters still. I mean, we do all really love Noah as Robby, but yeah, there are a lot of interesting night shift characters. I mean, we all love Abbott. I mean, Sean's also kind of talked about once upon a time, there were discussions of maybe he was going to be a regular this season, and that didn't end up happening, so maybe they're saving it.
He's such a big actor. It was
Yes.
so shocking to see him on the first season on the show for such a short amount of time. I was just like, I know it's a great show, but
Yeah.
like he doesn't need to sign on for such a small role that it feels like maybe HBO was like, listen, down the road, this is kind of what we're looking at.
The thing that drove me the most just off the wall with all this, he won an Emmy for season 1. Like, he got up there.
He sure did.
Yes, and we were so happy. He collected the hardware, and then they were like, all right, that's great, Sean. We're really happy for you. You're going to show up for a couple of episodes. You're going to leave on an ambulance, and then
Yeah.
you're going to be in a few more at the end. I think we would all welcome that opportunity. And I
Yeah.
think the other thing with this show, and this is one of the things they've done a really good job with in the second half of this season. I thought the first half started slow, but it's gotten a little bit better as it's gone along. They've made a real concentrated effort to not just replay the hits from season 1, where it feels like this season's ending in a lot more of an emotional way. It's a lot less about, oh my God, all this terrible stuff is happening at the hospital. And so them reinventing themselves again, yeah, you kind of do need to do that if this is going to be, I don't know, a 5-season, 6-season show.
This doesn't need to be 911 where they're sending them out into space
Oh,
and
no.
doing all these other, like, every season's got to be like the biggest season ever and the craziest. What I like that they had Pitt Best last season, and they're not doing anything like that this season. This season is a bunch of smaller crises that have come in, and that it is more about the connections of the staff with each other, except for Mel, who's been a ghost all season.
Yeah, I'm still.
I said it. It was just like there's this big build up to this deposition,
Yeah.
and then poof, she just like doesn't exist this season.
I can't defend you guys anymore. I tried. I tried to put on the suit of armor and sit here and be like, don't worry, guys. Mel's big story. It's coming. It's coming. It came for one episode and then it just went away again. And
Yep.
it's just like, Taylor Dearden, you deserve better than this. You are a very good performer. You are the daughter of a living legend. Does Walter White need to visit the producer's office and show them he is the one who knocks?
Okay, talking about the one who knocks. Let's talk about the performance of Langdon. Yo, this was a really intense episode. And okay, I already have my tinfoil hat on, and I don't know if I'm just seeing things. So, guys, please get in the comments and tell me what you think, because I need a second opinion on this.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Langdon who's tweaked out his back. Whoever said that in the comments, I can't remember your name, but definitely pat yourself on the back. That was like, I saw him tweak his back a couple episodes ago. Something is probably going to come with that. You were absolutely
Mhm.
right. It has come. We saw him in the kitchen. He's having an Advil. We saw the bottle. It said Advil. We like to think that there's Advil in there.
Yes.
And we'll get into the conversation with Whitaker and all that a bit later. But the events that happened after that, I was kind of like, something doesn't feel right. So he had his Advil. He went to the bathroom. As he was coming out of the bathroom, he was like, what? He had just washed his hands, so he's rubbing his hands, but he was like sweating and like, something just he didn't seem right. He didn't feel right. I wasn't sure what was going on. Then he went straight into this very emotional, very intense cowboy situation with this patient where Robby's like, no, it's time to cowboy up, doctor up, let's do this. And he does it and he gets that praise and he feels really good about it. He walks out and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, don't forget you have your urine test. You got to go do that right now. It's like, this kid just took a pee like 10 minutes ago. And when he came out, he's already sweating. Then he gets into this room with this patient. He's sweating so profusely, which I totally understood if it was about the patient. He's actually like, I don't know if it was snot or drool that came out of his mouth onto this patient while he was doing it, but it was such an intense moment. He's basically doing something he saw one time, completely blind. He's not sure. He got super lucky with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sweating, intense, all of that. But then I was just like connecting these other dots and I was like, did he relapse? Was he in the bathroom and something was happening? He came out, he's like sweating, he's drooling. Then all of a sudden he has to take a urine test. He's like, no problem. I didn't just go to the bathroom 10 minutes ago. I got this. I was like, where's he running to? The bathroom is the other way. Is there like a specific place he needs to go so that he can get a proper cup so that it can be like, torn properly, whatever? Or is he going to take somebody else's urine? I said it.
Okay,
I don't want this story.
No.
I don't want the relapse story. But like, guys, please let me know if anybody saw any of this or I'm on an island and nobody saw it.
I don't think you're on an island. I'll say that front and center here. I wasn't actively thinking about it while I was watching, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong, because I think the reality is, and a lot of us probably feel this way while we're watching it, is just that we all want to believe in Langdon as a character because we know he's gone through a lot. And unfortunately,
he's been trying to do the right thing all day.
He's been trying to do the right thing all day. But this is the thing. When you're dealing with something that he is dealing with, he still could be trying to do the right thing. Like, this is something that is extremely, extremely hard to conquer. And there are a lot of people who try their best who just fall back into it, unfortunately, for a wide array of reasons.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is the way that it was set up. He had just had this thing with Whitaker where he was like, yeah, you're right. I am putting you in a box and it's not fair and you're right to stand up for yourself. But a lot of things have been piling up on Langdon, and he knew that was going to happen because of what he did, that there were going to be some consequences for that coming back to work. But like, him coming out of that bathroom was before Robby was basically like, good job, where afterwards he was like, man, I'm feeling really good. I think I broke through with Robby. Okay, great. Oh, you have to take that urine test. Oh no.
We need to be stressed out about this. I want to believe that everything is okay. Like, I want to sit here and think that, all right, he's had a really long day. He's nervous. He's sweating. He's probably really tired at this point. He is in pain. But none of this disproves the idea that he might have relapsed. Like, that is all still there. I will say this, since you mentioned the performance part of this. I did not know Patrick Ball before this show. A lot of people didn't. He's got a really interesting story. He's one of those guys who really didn't know if he was ever going to make it, thought about quitting acting. Then the show came around. But his face when he completed this procedure and he actually got this win, it was the first time in a season and a half that I saw like that look of relief on him. And it was the most emotional I have gotten almost the entire season. I understand you probably can't give an Emmy based on just like the look on someone's face, But that to me was like, okay, if there is a supporting actor Emmy winner from the show this season, it's him, and it's 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. He really has put in the season.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some sort of answer as to what's going on with Langdon in the finale. It
Yeah.
really feels like whether it is him or Robby or even Dr. Al at this point, like they all have these major question marks that are like, okay, we have to make sure we nail all of these, and let's hope that we have enough time for some of the other characters mixed in here.
I just really hope that the two of them being in the room together and Langdon listening to Robby and going forward with it and everything working out is sort of the way of being like, we're good now, that everything is actually going to be okay. Because there was a little bit of that conversation of like Langdon thinking that, Robby's mad at him and that it's really about Robby being mad at himself for, not being there, letting him down in that way, that he wasn't actually there enough for him to stop something like this from happening.
Yeah, I think just having them say the words that they did, there doesn't need to be a like 5 minute scene between the two of them in the finale at this point. I feel like that acknowledgement, this is kind of realistic. Like sometimes
Yes.
you don't have time to sit there and have a deep heart to heart in the lounge where you talk through everything. Like, I know that Robby's off shift now, but they still have a lot going on outside of their own relationship, right?
Yeah, and not everybody's a talker, right? Sometimes actions mean more than that.
We have to talk about Mohan now because it's out there that Mohan is leaving the show. It's sad. She's my favorite character. I'm obviously not happy about it. The emotional part of me wants to just like go into an executive's office and tell people off.
They gave her a good story this season, though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they gave her a great story, and I'm really grateful that they did, but it's also realistic that the show is set at a hospital. People come and go. She's choosing a specialty. I think we'll hopefully either get closure on that in the finale or in season 3. There'll probably be some sort of update saying, oh, she's blah, 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 kind of like what they did with Dr. Collins. They've been setting it up the entire season.
They have been.
There was all this reaction on social media from people who were just like dumbfounded and furious about it. And I wanted to join them, but I was like, yeah, this has been on the show. This isn't coming out of the blue here, guys.
It's true. They have been setting this up all season long that she was probably going to be leaving, going into another part of being a doctor or washing out completely. It wasn't going that well for her, and she was getting piled on by Robby, who's somebody that she really cares about and about his opinion. And then you've got Ogilvy, who was underneath her washing out for the something that she missed, and people are getting hurt. It's been set up. And they've set it up in a really good way. I am sad to see her go, but people do go.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast with the hospital. I know that they're bringing in more people. We'll see more Dr. Alice next season. So, there is a path forward. But
that's right. Night shift.
Night shift. That's a really good point now that they made Dr. Alice. I didn't connect any of those dots. And now you can sit over there and laugh and take your victory lap now. Dr. Sean from Shrinking, here is my big question for you now. Shrinking was also renewed. Are you just going to like run back and forth between the two sets? I guess
maybe.
They both film in Los Angeles. Crazier things have happened. But in general, moving into the finale, I think the biggest question that I have is that like season 1 was its own kind of weird thing, filming in a vacuum. Nobody knew if it was going to be successful or not, if there was going to be a season 2. Now that you guys know that this is a really big hit, are you going to do a cliffhanger? Are you going to do the thing that makes us really, really angry? Because there really wasn't any of that in season 1.
I loved it. It was made it that they could come back and tell any story they wanted, and we were all going to come back because the show is so good that it's fine to have a show and where you have like a beginning, a middle, and an end of that season. It doesn't have to end on some huge cliffhanger for us to come back. We're going to come back. We're all invested.
I'm only for it if it makes like complete and total sense. And I don't see a situation where that would be the case right now, but they might surprise me.
I mean, unless we're just moving into the next shift and it's going to be some sort of a cliffhanger so that season 3, if season 3 is the night shift, then we just move in with everybody and what's going to be happening with the night shift.
And that is where we are coming out of the pit, season 2, episode 14. Let us know in the comments What do you guys think is going on with Dr. Al? Do
Mhm.
you feel like Robby is going to find any peace in this final episode? Be sure to let us know. And yeah, be sure to join our memberships. We are covering great stuff over there. Monarch Legacy of Monsters. The
Mhm.
boys just started off. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time.